So, Melissa, your year 2025 did not exactly go as planned.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting year because I had my second child last October, in it was October 2024. I had a plan for coming back from maternity leave, and I was like, I've done this before. I know where maybe I need to be more flexible, and I know where things that should be easier. And we hosted a few events about it in the community. Um, I know I gave a lot of really helpful feedback to people to talk to like plan their own maternity leave. But the biggest thing I learned, and which I already knew a little bit, but like it was you can't predict how life is going to go, and you can't predict how in this case how a child is going to change things for you. And my second child is completely different in all the some ways similar to the oldest, but yeah, I wasn't expecting this year to go the way it has. I was definitely expecting to have gained some more momentum in my business and be back to like my new normal by now. And it hasn't. I've needed. I said to this to you before, saying I've needed like a plan B and a plan C and a plan Z maybe even. It's been really tough. It's also been like such a fulfilling year too. Specifically related to my daughter, me and my husband always say like, she doesn't sleep, and that's really hard. And that's been the hardest part about trying to get back into a routine of things. But she's such a joy all day long. So like it's wonderful, but it's also really hard. And I've definitely had times where I'm like, do it would be so much easier if I was just a stay-at-home mom, if I just, completely stopped this business. Um, and I know I don't want that, right? And I know I don't want that because, we talk all the time in the lit community about like our 5-year business visions and our big whys for our business. And I feel so connected to those things that I know that right now is a really hard moment in my life and business. But I know that in the bigger vision of things and why I do this work, like it's okay too. And I think a huge thing that I've been leaning on too is, first of all, like the flexibility of being self-employed. Like I would have had to take, I would be a stay-at-home mom right now, which, is great in some ways, but that's not what I want. And so, but I wouldn't have been able to, if I had like a kind of a more traditional job in like a clinic or something, I wouldn't be able to do kind of to juggle it all. Um, and then being in the community has been just such a great, great, source of energy and like reminder to me of why I do this work. I always say that even if I hadn't founded the community, I would be a member of this lit community. Sonia, you and I talk all the time about joining the events and how much like energy it gives us, right? Um,
Yeah, and I was gonna add, like, from as your business partner, right? I've been following your year from a distance, but also obviously been affected by it in some way and running a business together. But I think the main thing I noticed, and I think that is very true for a lot of people in that situation, is how much we can get into our own head, feeling like we're falling behind, feeling guilty for not, responding quickly enough, for not being available enough, for not doing all the things. And as the one who had to, like, do some of the extra work, I'm like, but that's life, that's fine, but you need to talk about it, right? And we need to have these conversations, and you need to lean on your colleagues and your business partners and your team. And I think it was really interesting to notice how hard that was for you sometimes, because you are used to just doing it all, right? And the truth is, in a situation like that, you just sometimes can't, but you need the reminder and the support, especially in those moments.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, like to get out of your own head. And I think that's a very hard thing for me to do. I will say that um, being able to have our like spaces in the like community where we are talking about this kind of more vulnerable stuff, and we are leaning on each other as colleagues, like, to talk about what was hard about our month, or what kind of self-care are we needing right now, or what challenges are we facing. That makes such a huge difference, because often I think we feel this pressure as mental health professionals to show up like as 110% around other mental health professionals, and that's just not realistic, right? Like, I don't think we would, I think we would encourage our clients to look for spaces where they can, be their professional selves and also be vulnerable. Maybe not all spaces, right? But I think it's important for us to have a space where we can show up in that way. Um, and yeah, it's been tough though. It's definitely been tough, and has taught me a lot about myself and where I can still work on, like, asking for help. But I'm so grateful to have the community. Like, again, I think that's just been such a source of inspiration, and a reminder too of like how big the world is, right? And like that, and that I'm not the only one struggling in my business and or personal life, or juggling the both of them too, right? I think that's a unique thing about some of the spaces we have, where we can talk about all the things we're juggling.
But I think it can feel very different in our case because we, as location independent therapists, we usually have businesses and live lives that are very unique and different from a lot of the people around us. And so we often get negative feedback, or we get, oh, but you can't do this, or this is not possible, and being a pioneer is really difficult. And then adding to that, that we are juggling different roles of being business owners and therapists, mental health professionals. It's such a complicated thing to be both at the same time sometimes. And then maybe also being isolated geographically because we live in a different part of the world, or we don't have that many colleagues near us, or the colleagues nearby are not very supportive. That's all the reasons why we created this community, right? And over the almost 6 years that we have had this community, we see it over and over again how this whole feeling like you're the only one struggling with something, or feeling like it's so weird to want to do this, or it's so, it can't really, but it should work, but you're just too stupid to get it right. I don't know, like we have so many thoughts and feelings and fears, and like, yeah, we all have them.
Mhm.
But it's still possible, right? And we have these amazing businesses and lives, but we do need the support. And that's why we have the lit community. And you experience it yourself basically this year of how
I
how
did.
supportive it can be.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that, like, that has been such a good reminder to me is about people in my kind of offline local life, see, oh, okay, you're juggling so much stuff, and now you're talking about how you want to, like, world school your kids. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what is that? And homeschooling, what? And I love being able to go into the lit community, and people are like, oh yeah, traveling with your kids and helping them learn and doing things out of the, like, living out an out of the box style. Like, of course, we're all doing that. And so it's been, again, just really nice to help keep me connected to my kind of 5-year bigger vision too. And to not feel like I'm, yeah, not to feel like, and maybe to feel like some chaos in life is normal too, right? Right? I mean, with all of us, like, travel, taking our businesses on the road or juggling different roles, I think that's been a good reminder too. It's like life is busy, but that's maybe what we want of it too.
And we want this life, right? We do know why we want it. Sometimes we need reminders, sometimes we need support. All of that you can get inside the community. Come join us.
Yeah, come
You
join
get,
us.
sorry.
Yeah,
Hmm.
come join us. Come try out your 7-day free trial. And then, yeah, and then join us as a full-time member after that if it turns out to be the right fit for you. Let us know if you have questions too. Hope to
And
see you.
because we are busy professionals who need to go back to their children and other lives, we're not going to re-record this, even though I was coughing. That's the reality of this life. Come join us
Awesome.
anyway.
See you inside.